What did you find in your teacher's desk that changed everything you thought you knew? I was looking for a stapler when I found the photographs. Mrs. Calloway had sent me back to her classroom during lunch to grab supplies for the afternoon presentation, and her desk drawer stuck when I pulled it. Inside were dozens of Polaroids of students, all taken from odd angles through windows and doorways. My face was in 7 of them. I was reaching for my phone to text my best friend Aisha when I noticed the dates written on the backs. Some went back 5 years, long before I'd even started at Lincoln High. The handwriting was neat and precise, with little notes beneath each date. Promising candidate under a photo of Derek Liu from my chemistry class. Responds well to authority under one of Aisha leaving the gym. Requires more observation under 3 separate shots of me walking to my car. My hands were shaking so badly that I almost dropped the entire stack. I pulled out my phone and started photographing every single Polaroid, making sure the dates and notes were visible. There had to be at least 60 photos spread across 4 different stacks, organized by some system I couldn't quite figure out. Mrs. Calloway was the school's college counselor, and everyone trusted her completely. She'd helped my older brother get into Princeton 2 years ago, and my parents literally worshipped her. Last month, she'd sat me down for 3 hours going over my application essays and telling me exactly how to present myself to admissions committees. She knew everything about my family, my goals, my insecurities. The photo of me crying in my car after failing my physics midterm had a note that said, "Vulnerable period, approach carefully." The classroom door opened, and I shoved the photos back into the drawer so fast that some of them scattered onto the floor. Mrs. Calloway stood in the doorway holding a sandwich, her expression shifting from surprised to something I couldn't quite identify. "I thought you'd be gone by now," she said quietly, and I noticed her eyes were already on the photos at my feet. I bent down to pick them up, my mind racing through possible explanations, but there was no innocent reason for a teacher to have surveillance photos of students with predatory notes. She took 3 steps into the room and locked the door behind her. "We should talk about what you just found," she said, and her voice had changed completely from the warm, maternal tone she always used. This voice was cold and businesslike, the voice of someone used to managing problems. "Why do you have photos of me?" I asked, and I was proud that my voice only shook a little. She set her sandwich down on a student desk and held out her hand for the Polaroids I'd picked up. When I didn't move, she smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. "I help students reach their full potential, Jasmine. Sometimes that requires understanding them better than they understand themselves. Your brother benefited from my guidance, didn't he?" The way she said guidance made my skin crawl. I thought about Cameron suddenly changing his entire personality senior year, becoming this focused, intense version of himself that our parents loved, but that always seemed slightly wrong. He'd stopped hanging out with his friends, spent every afternoon in Mrs. Calloway's office, and started talking about success and legacy, and making our family proud in this weird, robotic way. "You're manipulating students," I said, and she actually laughed. "I'm optimizing outcomes. Do you know how many of my students get into Ivy League schools? 43% over the last 5 years, compared to the state average of 2%. I identify promising candidates early and provide intensive, personalized guidance. Your parents paid me $8,000 to help Cameron. They've already given me $6,000 for you." The room felt smaller suddenly. My parents had never mentioned paying Mrs. Calloway anything. They'd told me she was donating her time because she believed in our family. "That's illegal," I said, and she shook her head slowly. "Private educational consulting is perfectly legal. The fact that I also work at the school is irrelevant. I'm providing a service that parents are desperate for in this economy." I pulled out my phone and she moved faster than I expected, crossing the distance between us and grabbing my wrist hard enough to hurt. To see the full story, click the link below or go on my channel.